Audemars Piguet is one of the most respected watch brands in the world. A brand built on exclusivity, heritage, and status. Just turn the royal oak into colorful plastic swatches called Royal Pop. Even the name sounds ridiculous. And commercially, it's genius. People are going crazy. But status-wise, it's humiliation. Because when even brands like AP start selling their most iconic designs for a mass hype, you realize luxury is no longer protecting exclusivity. It's chasing relevance. And this is where the whole problem begins. And on this video, I want to talk about how luxury stopped signaling elite status and became just a costume for the people who wants to look rich. Before we talk about why luxury feels so cringe now, we need to talk about why luxury worked at the first place. Since school, people have always searched for the shortcuts to status, ways to instantly look more successful, more important, more attractive, more powerful. And luxury was one of the easiest cheat codes ever invented. You buy a Rolex, people see success. You carry a Birkin, people assume exclusivity. You wear Van Cleef and people think old money, elegance, and wealth. Luxury instantly changed how people perceive you. Let's be honest, people never buy Dior for fabric or for quality. There was a lot of investigation recently about luxury brands that the price over and their fabric is not so great. But all this investigation was harmless for the brands because for the last few decades, people were never buying luxury for quality. I have Balenciaga shoes which got destroyed after one time I wore it. One time only. Exceptional quality was never the reason why people bought luxury, but status was. Luxury was social language. It separated people, and that separation was the entire value. But then something changed. Luxury stopped feeling distant and started feeling performative. Social media completely changed psychological of luxury. Luxury used to feel unreachable. Now it feels like a content. Unboxing, hauls videos, TikTok flexing, and no offense, but real elites are not sitting at home and watching luxury unboxing videos. Those videos are made for aspirational audience, for people chasing the appearance of wealth. Targeting the middle class became a gold mine for luxury brands. I will explain you why. Because truly rich people is harder to sell. They rarely change trends, they rarely react emotional to marketing. And most importantly, they usually have nothing to prove. But aspirational middle-class consumers are completely different. They crave for recognition and they crave for status. So those people want a visible proof that they are successful. And once luxury brands understood that, they started pushing trends much harder towards mass audience. Harder marketing, harder social media presence, more influencers, more hype, more visibility. Cartier sales exploded with this Justin Clue and Love bracelets. Van Cleef's Alhambra skyrocketed. Luxury brands were making insane money. But then something happened. And that was a huge mistake which luxury brand made. They stopped targeting rich people and start targeting people who want to look rich. That changed everything because once luxury became mass aspirational content, it stopped feeling elite. Suddenly, the huge brands, elite brands, started collaborating with the random influencers, TikTokers, OnlyFans models, anybody with engagement. And not because those influencers represented status or good reputation or beautiful style, just only because they had a traffic. And internet exposed luxury to the millions of people who suddenly wanted the same status symbols without actually having money for them. And this is the real tragedy for the modern luxury. People all around the world were constantly bombarded with aggressive influencer marketing, luxury content, unboxing, trends videos, must-have bags, must-have jewelry. Everywhere people looked, they saw the same message. This is what status look like. Of course, millions of people started wanting the same status symbols. The problem is most of them could never afford it. But the solution came from Asia. And this is where the entire system started collapsing. Because Chinese manufacturers offered something luxury brands never expected. Identical status symbol at the completely different price point. One-to-one copies. Same look, same weight, same details. There are copies like nobody ever understands the difference between original and copy. And now, people all around the world could buy a Birkin, could buy a Rolex, AP, Patek Philippe, Van Cleef, Cartier, anything you want. And they will be completely satisfied because most of the people, like 90%, they're buying these things not for investment. They're buying it for flexing. And if you want to flex, now you don't have to pay $20,000 for a Birkin. You can pay $2,000 and you will get exactly the same Birkin. And nobody will stop you and ask you for the certificate. And same goes for jewelry and for some of the watches. And once millions of people start wearing identical looking luxury symbols, the symbols themselves start losing meaning. Because now you see Birkin everywhere, Van Cleef everywhere, Cartier everywhere. Luxury became visibly overproduced. And I say before, it's a tragedy for luxury brands because aspirational middle-class audience, which they were aggressively targeting, slowly stopped buying from the malls, from the brands, and they just shifted for the copies. They start buying the cheaper visual version of the same status fantasy. If middle class is stopped buying from the brands and they start buying Chinese copies, elites also stop buying these status symbols because for them it's not a status symbols anymore because everybody have it. So luxury brands ended up trapped in the worst possible position. Let's take Birkin bag as a best example. For years, the Birkin was the ultimate female status symbol. Like 15-20 years ago, if you have a Birkin, people assumed instantly that you are wealthy, that you are exclusive, you may be a famous. So basically, one word. They know that you have a high social status. That was not a flex, it was a symbol of belonging. But now it's totally upside down. I live in Dubai, I see Birkin like every day, everywhere. Now, if someone see the Birkin, the people not assuming that you have a high status because people assuming or it's a fake. First of all, people assume it's a fake. Then they assume it's a resale, or you are from escort, or you went for Hermes for a couple of years buying unwanted things, creating stories and begging them to sell you this bag. And this is 100%, I know that. And honestly, it's completely destroyed the aura. And brands completely lost control over resales market too. Because once people understood how the game actually works, the illusions start breaking. People now realize the boutique politics, artificial scarcity, resales markets, distribution leaking products, and manufactured exclusivity. So now everybody knows from where traders have the rarest watches. So because of internet, because of this aggressive marketing, because of the targeted audience changed, all this game became exposed. But luxury only works when people believe in the fantasy. It required strong concept, and the internet exposed the fantasy and destroyed all the concepts. But why it's happened? Why brands choose the strategy? Why they were dominated culture for decades and now they're losing its status? Was it only because of social media or there is something deeper? And of course, there are always something deeper, and the reason of everything is money. Luxury brand didn't suddenly wake up one morning and decided to destroy exclusivity. That wasn't an accident. That was a business decision. And the answer is actually very simple. Modern luxury is no longer controlled like an old family business. Today, major luxury houses belongs to the giant conglomerates like LVMH or Kering. And once luxury becomes part of corporate machine, everything changed because a conglomerate does not care about perceiving mystic for the next 100 years. A conglomerate cares about growth. quarterly growth, aggressively growth, constantly increasing numbers. That's why they want more visibility, more engagement, because they want money now. They are not thinking after 50 years how the brand reputation will look like. They want to show their investors that the chapters goes up. They need investor confidence. They need massive global demand. And that's exactly why luxury brands abandoned exclusivity for scale. Not by accident, by choice. So luxury brands started sacrificing mystery for visibility, status for hype. And for a while, it worked brilliant. Sales exploded. Luxury became culturally dominant. But the same strategy that created massive growth slowly started destroying the thing that made luxury powerful at the first place. It's exclusivity. Luxury brands were teaching people how to look rich for decades. But now luxury accidentally destroyed the concept of looking rich. Because once everyone can perform wealth online, wealth stops separating people. So now everybody can perform looking wealth, can perform looking old money. So looking wealthy stopped separating people, and once status symbols become a mass content, they stopped functioning as a status symbols. And that's why the real status moved somewhere else. Privacy, freedom, health, time, closed circles, invisible wealth. So now in Dubai, how we understand that the person is rich? If he has many kids. Because schools are very expensive, education for the kids is very expensive in Dubai. And if the family can afford like 3-4 kids, it means they're super wealthy. And it doesn't matter if they have the car or Birkin or diamonds or whatever. It's cheap comparing to send 4 kids to the schools. Of course, luxury didn't die. Status symbols will never die. People naturally want to have a higher status. They wanted to signal their high social status, so it will never die. But what we are witnessing now is a massive shift. So there is no more a watch, or there is no more a bag which can signal a status as same as before. Thank you so much for being with me, and let me know what's your opinion about it. I will read all of your comments.